Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast. This is your host, Brittany, and today we are joined by Brian. He is the CEO and founder of Pup O'Clock, which is more than just a pet product. It is a movement. So Brian, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about Pup O'Clock and exactly what it is.
Sure. Pup O'Clock is a monthly themed subscription box at the moment, and we're going to kind of turn it into a full-fledged entertainment company with an app, animation, and things of that nature. The aim is to maintain engagement with your dog, with the kids, and your family. And it was built based off of a myriad of different things. It was life experiences of myself, but also problems. Especially post-COVID, a ton of people were adopting dogs, and then abandonment rates went through the roof.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to use a subscription model, but look at tackling kind of adopting responsibility at that particular age for kids to not only make them better dog owners, but better human beings. And so it's like as I mentioned, it's a themed monthly subscription. Everyone starts with a flagship box that kind of sets the table for responsibility, has a chore chart. It always has toys and treats, although, as you mentioned, it's more than just a toy and treat box. Responsibility contract, a gotcha certificate, all different kinds of things. So there's a blend of education, entertainment, and also enrichment in the box. And so donating back to shelters. So we're trying to achieve lowering abandonment rates that way. But more than anything, it's the behavioral change is what I think. And using entertainment for education is something that I think we don't use enough for. So when you're looking at giving kids tools to adopt meaningful responsibility at that age, what better segment than using dogs?
Right.
Because you're saving their life, you're helping the kids, you're helping the parents, you're helping the communities, so on and so forth. So as they go on this adventure, that's the whole goal is for them to look at their dog as a superhero and for them to get to the point where they see that real value between that relationship.
Yeah, I think you're definitely bridging a gap of a lot of kids see like Paw Patrol or like shows like that where they have these animated dogs that they love and look up to, and you're kind of making that a reality for these kids, but keeping it realistic at the same time, making them understand like this is a responsibility. You have these different chores, you have these different things you have to do to take care of your dog. And like you said, that's not readily available right now. You don't get really any way to kind of get your child engaged with your dog. You don't get tips or advice, and you actually don't see a lot of that content either. So you guys are definitely filling a lot of that void, I think, where a lot of pet parents or even human parents with pets, kind of the void that they're seeing. So I think that this is going to be a great movement, and I think you're going to be shaping future dog owners. And we need that, right? Because these kids need to understand how to raise these dogs and kind of how to set expectations. So
Absolutely. And not only better dog owners, but hey, get them involved in maybe being a vet when they get older or being an enrichment expert, being a dog trainer.
right.
I think it's just a nice Kickstarter to get them thinking about that animal husbandry.
Yeah. And Brian, your background hasn't always been like with animals or with dogs. You have a unique story, a compelling story. So give us a little bit of your background and then like how you got into Pup O'Clock.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, we were looking at tackling problems, but also life experience kind of led me here. I'm almost 3 years in recovery right now. So as I built
Congratulations.
this, thank you. As I built this program, um, I was on that sobriety journey, and that's what really our tagline, at least initially, was responsibility, accountability, and positivity.
Mhm.
All of which I did not have, and so in not only wanting to make this good for kids again to uh, attach to their dogs and get all of that value. It's also huge for just learning discipline, consistency, finding out you're not the center of the universe anymore as a kid, having some introspection and humility, and
Mhm.
working towards something that's bigger than you, and that
Mhm.
gives you fulfillment. I mean, self-sacrifice, learning at that age is what will hopefully make for a better community of dog owners. And I think, again, using that platform, using that dog, a living, breathing animal, having, being held accountable to feed, to take it out. I mean, it's someone that is relying on you. I wish I had that kind of tool when I was growing up to kind of
Right.
learn
Right.
those things.
Yeah,
Um,
I see people all of the time who they're maybe in their 20s or 30s, they've never had a dog, whether they've never had a family dog or they've only had a family dog that they didn't participate with, take care of, and they get a dog and they have so many questions. And in addition to those questions, they have so many, I guess, preconceived notions. Like, I didn't know I was going to have to do A, B, C, D. They don't know a lot of that. And a large chunk of that, I think, is why we're seeing so many dogs end up in the shelter because people are like, well, I didn't know I was going to have to potty train the dog, or I didn't know the dog would chew. And, unless you grew up like I grew up on a farm. So I had farm chores. I had to take care of horses and goats and dogs and cats. And so I think there's only a small percentage of the population that kind of grew up with some of those responsibilities. And even the way that we thought about our dogs is a little bit different than maybe the reality of it. So I think that this is going to help, like I said, so many kids that aren't really growing up with either a dog currently in their life or that dog's kind of just the family dog and they're not really dealing with it. So, even for younger parents, right? Younger parents who are adopting a dog and have a child, this might be just as helpful for them as it is for their kid. And so I think you're kind of bridging that gap and you're helping them bond with the pet and with each other because I think there's a lot of bonding that could be done in parenting when you're helping your child understand and care for a living creature.
Absolutely, and it comes nicely packaged on a monthly basis, which is great. I mean, the
Yeah.
name Pup O'Clock is because puppies are around the clock care, so at least you'll get that box, and there's so many good things in there, whether it's education or entertainment, that you will go back to your dog and at least re-engage and continue to re-engage until that becomes second nature. And in that material, our vet writes all of our content. We have an enrichment expert that writes content as well. And each box is themed. And when you move on from our flagship box, which everyone gets when they start, your subsequent boxes that are themed have different family activities like recipes, to your point, so that the whole
Mhm.
family can be involved and participate in that journey, which is great.
Yeah. And your box is different in that it's not just toys or just treats where that could be used as like a I don't wanna speak negatively about it because I'm not, but it could be just like a distraction methodology, whereas what you're providing is more of an engagement because it's not just the toys and the treats. You're getting human to human engagement, you're getting human to dog engagement, and so I think that's what makes it so unique, and if you can you tell us kind of each box, like, does it have, like, 1 toy, 1 treat, 1, like, article,
Yeah.
or how are those boxes structured?
Absolutely. I'll give you an example. Our back to school box, one of our theme boxes, all of the content is wrapped around that theme. So we're talking about crate training, separation anxiety, what to do with
Mhm,
your dog before school and after school. And again, it's very high level. So just by osmosis, that you'll be a common sense 101 dog owner. But
mhm,
that our partnership, we have a partnership with Soda Pop, and then we have an enrichment component to it. So you're going to get a bandana every month. You're going to get stickers. You're going to get soda pop items, like a lick mat, and there'll be
mhm,
a lesson tied to that or a recipe associated with that. And then you have a pup guide, which introduces a new character into what's called the League of Pups, which is an animated series that we're building out with Point Park University locally here in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
And that is, to your point with Bluey or Paw Patrol, it's going to be an animated series, but for the purpose of learning responsibility. So
Oh,
the
cool.
kind of the origin story is these dogs that were shelter dogs come out, they had a rough life, and now they're able to come out and help humans take care of them better the right way so that
Mhm.
we again lower abandonment rates. So it's all for the purpose of responsible pet ownership. The three different guides in there, as I mentioned, there's a pup guide. It's almost like a comic strip or a comic book,
Mhm.
and that comes with, also a trading card. So I'm kinda
Oh,
trying to
cool.
build out a Pokemon effect as well,
Yeah.
and all of the new characters in these boxes are real dogs. I wanted to make them real dogs. On the back
Mm.
of the card, there's a rough report that tells them about their life story. So there's actually some inherent value in those cards as you trade them, as you collect them and things of that
Yeah.
nature. So you have your trading card, you have your, pup guide, which introduces that dog into the League of Pups. You have your vet guide, so Dr. Daisy writes that veterinarian material. Again, whether that's that crate training, separation anxiety in that back to school box. And then we have other materials like reading to your dog, the value of reading to your dog, doing your
Mhm.
homework with your dog. Um, what a better way to sustain you in school through bullying and family issues to really run home and use these tools to latch onto your buddy and build that relationship. And then enrichment is big. Enrichment is somewhat new.
Right.
I wish I knew that when I was growing up with my dog, he just chewed everything. I didn't realize they're just bored. And so there's a lot of inexpensive ways to facilitate enrichment through busy boxes and things of that nature. So there's also an enrichment guide by our canine enrichment experts. So each and every box, not only are you getting the trading card, the comic stuff, the bandana, stickers, the soda pop items, but also those materials that'll help you engage with your dog. And also, the pendulum swings so far towards technology. This will hopefully get kids outside and
Yeah.
actually interacting with
Right.
with their dog and doing things like scavenger hunts, or obstacle courses and
Mhm.
things of that nature. So it's a really cool mix of, like I said, entertainment and education.
Yeah, yeah, that's great, and you get a lot in that box, and it's fun that they're themed and they're monthly, right? Because we know kids are gonna have a short attention span,
No doubt.
so at that 1 month mark, they're gonna be just waiting for their next box.
And
Um,
waiting for the character, like, I looked at
yeah,
this and you could probably do this with fiscal responsibility. Again, another practical thing for kids to learn that they don't learn in school,
right.
if you assign characters to it. I think that's the key. So kids fall in love with these characters. We just recently, bought a mascot and went to our first shelter event. So we have a full-fledged my son, who's 13, is the mascot guy, so he's a big
That's
help.
awesome.
He's a big help. That and then, an app and again, the animated series, video game, whatever it might be, but it's nice to actually get something physically, and who doesn't like getting a box delivered to their house?
Right, right. I love getting
Mm.
boxes to my house. Today, Amazon dropped something, and I was so excited. It was just food for one of my plants. I got excited about it, so I would love a box.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the, like, target age range, for the kids? What's, like, the recommended age range, I guess I should say?
Yeah, I guess if you looked at a bell curve, it would be K through 8, for the
Okay,
most part, with, like, 4 through 6th graders probably at our peak.
okay.
But obviously early intervention is good. I mean, even it's a tool to adopt any kind of responsibility, so hopefully parents that don't have a dog might say, "Hey, now that there's a tool out there, let's get a dog." So it could be
Mhm.
for even younger kids, early intervention, but also special needs. We work with a lot of special needs organization, autism, dyslexia, Downs, and that takes it up to higher age brackets.
Right.
Um, and then if these cards catch, it could be something where people buy and trade, that kind of thing. So it's all over the map, and it's constantly evolving.
Mhm.
Um, it's kind of tough to tell. We're always pivoting and always trying to improve.
Right.
So, but I would say 4 to 6th graders is probably where it's at.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's a good age range to try to catch because that age range could be difficult because one day they like something like Bluey, the next day they're too old for it, you so they're kind of hard to get in that target, but you're never too old for a puppy or for a dog, like that's always
Right.
engaging and exciting. You're never too cool for it or too old for it. Um, Tell me a little bit about your vision for shelter partnerships because I know you guys are doing like shelter outreach and different partnerships. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. From the beginning, when we first started this, we wanted to work closely with shelters and build a relationship with them specifically in their education department. And we just wanted to add value. We wanted to be an extension of the shelter from an entertainment perspective. I mean, my vision was to have Pup the Yellow Dog go to all the different shelters, all those events, and with our content and just add to what they're doing. Because a lot of times they collaborate with schools or any kind of organizations locally. So it's a good thing to kinda get deep into the community there, and it gives
Mhm.
them something else other than it goes back to when a shelter brings a dog out, everyone like, all the kids love the dog because it's cute and
Right.
everything like that, but again, layering in something where, "Oh, there's also Pup O'Clock and there's a tool. Hey, that's pretty cool." So it all kind of comes together that way. So we're hopeful that we add value from that perspective. We also built into our margins a significant amount of donation back per box per month so that they could get passive income over time. So working through affiliates, promo codes, and things of that nature to help them financially, but also from a behavioral perspective.
Yeah, that's
Almost
fantastic.
like a yeah, like a kind of synonymous to like a Clifford the Red Dog, right? Pup the Yellow
Yeah, yeah,
Dog who's going around and helping shelters out. That's the aim.
yeah. That's great. Are you, so Pup the Yellow Dog, if people are wondering kind of where he's gonna be, is he primarily in Pittsburgh right now?
Right now, he's locally in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think,
Okay,
over the
okay.
course of the summer, we've identified some of our 10 to 15, close relationships, shelter-wise, and we're gonna try to, again, as we grow and,
Mhm.
we'll try to get out there more and more. We did do, kids camps actually at Jacksonville Humane last summer. So we did
Oh,
kids
wow.
camps there. We did them at Harp and, a couple other places. So we're definitely doing vendor events as well. So we are in person there, not so much with the mascot yet since we just got that,
Mhm,
but that is the goal, is to get out
mhm.
there and hopefully they'll advertise and say, "Hey, Pup the Yellow Dog's coming to this adoption event," and
Yeah,
that would be great to just bolster everyone's brand in that way, and
yeah.
make people look at dealing with dogs a little bit easier, like you said, because it's tough to just Google everything. "Oh, what should I do here? What should I do there?"
Right,
Um,
right.
so this is more
Mm,
fluid approach.
yeah, it can get overwhelming whenever you're starting to Google how to take care of a puppy or what to expect from a shelter dog, and there's almost too much information, and you don't know how to discern it down, and, if you try to Google, like, "new dog and a kid," you just get way too much, and you're inundated, and so this kind of keeps everything
Totally.
simplistic, and it allows you to kinda build onto it, hold yourself accountable, hold your kid accountable. Um, so yeah, this is gonna be I think this is gonna be great. This is gonna be a long-term movement that's going to be beneficial for people and for dogs, and I think what you guys are doing is fantastic, and, people can subscribe currently to Pup O'Clock boxes, right? They can get the monthly box?
Yes. Yep, yep,
And
they can get monthly, they can get a discount on 6 months or 12 months as well. So there's a variety of different ways, cancel at any time. We have for people watching, we have, also some swag on there and more to come. I mean, we're in our infancy stage right now, so we are open-minded, looking for recommendations and suggestions from our, constituents as well, so always trying to get better.
yeah, yeah. So where can people find Pup O'Clock? Tell us, website, social
Yeah.
media, all of that.
Best place on social media would be our Instagram page at @pupaclock_. Website's just pupaclock.com, and then we'll start to build out those other, social media silos as well over time. But for right now, those are the best places to reach us.
Awesome.
And
Well,
so
thank
not
you,
only
Brian.
when you're, oh, go ahead,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
you're good. Not only are you subscribing for a box to become a better dog owner, a better human, but also you're giving back to a shelter in need with each purchase as well.
I love that. Brian, thank you so much. I'm excited to see Pup O'Clock take off. I'm hoping Pup the Yellow Dog comes back to Jacksonville, Florida and gives me a visit. And just thank you for everything that you're doing.
Dude, thank you so much, Brittany. I appreciate being on.
Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, if you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.